So today we have with us Dr. Anita KB, who is the professor and HOD of Department of Microbiology, Agent of Medical Sciences, Mangalore, Karnataka. Dr. Anita, welcome to National Dynamic Medical Student Summit. It's my pleasure being my teacher to welcome you for this summit.
Thank you, Sajan. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this program. And I'm very happy that my own student has organized this program and has invited me to share my insights on microbiology. Thank you, Sajan.
It's my pleasure, ma'am. Okay, so just to give an insight into the summit, so the entire summit is for guiding the students regarding different specialties. So the current what is absent is the practical insight into each specialty or what opportunities they can choose from, right? So that's where we share the experience of each consultant regarding their practical experiences, and then they can make an informed decision on that. Okay, so with that, yeah.
And I think it's a very good venture because most often what I have seen is when you finish your MBBS, you are clueless about what you want to do. And you really wish that there was somebody who could give you some kind of a counseling on each specialty so that you are better informed on how to proceed with your choices.
Exactly. Yeah. So with that, let's start our discussion. The first thing we'd like to ask is, why did you choose microbiology as a specialty? Was it your first choice? And I don't know the days when you had to choose. What was there at that point of time? Just if you could share that particular area.
Okay. Actually, to tell you the truth, microbiology was not my first choice. My first choice was always ophthalmology. There was no second thoughts about it. It was only ophthalmology. But then, due to various reasons, especially for girls, you know how it is, early marriage, then you need to think family, career, balancing all these things. So finally, I thought, okay, I didn't mind doing microbiology. I wanted to give more time for my family. So I wanted to balance my work and my family, my career and my family. So I thought microbiology, and I liked working with the microbes. Somewhere it gave me the feeling that I could be very much a part of clinical medicine. I wouldn't miss out much on clinical medicine because at the end of the day, a lot of clinical medicine is about infectious disease. So I thought this was a better option for me to be with clinical medicine and also have enough time to do whatever else I would love to do.
Got it.
So this was my career choice. And I have no regrets about my career choice.
Wonderful. Got that. Right. So it's been how long that you've been practicing as a microbiologist?
Not very long. Again, Sajan, to tell you, I gave preference to my family. So I waited till my daughters were old enough to take care of themselves before I took up MD in microbiology. So I've been a microbiologist for around 18 years now.
Wow. Okay.
18 to 20 years. Yeah.
That's a pretty long journey, ma'am. Got it. So now, with so much of years of experience, what do you see the pros of being a microbiologist?
See, the pros of microbiology, like I have said, you don't feel you are detached from clinical medicine because every time I'm sitting in the lab and looking through the clinical specimens, what keeps coming back to me is this is about a patient. This is about an infection a patient has and how to go about treating. I am helping the clinicians to optimize their treatment.
Okay.
So this kind of this is the experience I have, and I make it a point personally. I make it a point to go see the patient, especially when it's a rare kind of a presentation, or for some reason the clinician keeps sending back the different specimens. So then I know that, okay, they are in trouble. They are also confused about what's happening. So then I make it a point to go see the patient, or at least I talk to the consultant find out what exactly their thought process is. Because many times, if you just sit in the lab, there's a total disconnect. I don't know what the clinician wants, and the clinician, unless I know what their clinical diagnosis is or what diagnosis they are thinking of, it becomes hard for me to decide whether this is the right way to go about it, or are they missing the boat altogether.
Okay.
Like, for example, there was an instance when patients were in the cath lab, but continuously having rigor post IV infusions. So why? It was, the thought was, no, this is of infective etiology. Is it because of contaminated infusions? No, this is what the thought process was. We did all the necessary tests, completely ruled it out, and then I was able to tell the people involved that this is definitely not because of a microbe. This is of some other origin. So we have to check for maybe something in the infusion, the chemicals used to stabilize it, or maybe the temperature at which it is stored. So it is that it is not a microbe. So, that gives you a kind of satisfaction that you have helped identify. And finally, it turned out to be that the temperature at which it was being stored was too cold.
Okay.
It had to be brought to room temperature before infusion.
Right.
Which was a small thing that was overlooked.
Got it.
So these kind of inputs we are able to give, and that gives me a lot of personal satisfaction.
Wow. So we see that there is a lot of strong link between microbiology and clinical medicine, and I think that's wonderful for the students who are looking for that link, and also being a part of very strong linkage between treating a patient and also helping them in making the diagnosis. Right. So that's a wonderful, very strong the pro of taking this. Right. So what do you with this experiences, there is also cons of being a microbiologist. So what are those? You can just elaborate some.
The cons right now is in the clinician's attitude towards a microbiologist surgeon. Unfortunately, somewhere the feeling still is that, in fact, I've had somebody tell me in an open forum, do you mean to say that I have to take the advice of a microbiologist to treat my patients? This was a question that was put to me. So that kind of a thought process should stop. They have to understand that we have to work hand in hand.
Yeah.
Because again, to reiterate, majority of clinical medicine is about infectious disease. So
Right.
definitely, as a microbiologist, people need to understand, the doctors, the clinicians need to understand that I can help. Okay, I'm not saying that we know everything, but when we work hand in hand, definitely things will work out for the good of the patient.
Right.
We will be able to optimize the care. We will be able to give the best treatment possible for patients, because that is where we play a role. So that thought should go, and both of us should interact. We should stop treating this like a lab specialty. Like, I should move out of my lab and go into the wards. I should interact with the clinician. So many times what's happening is people, in microbiology, think this is a lab field, and they think that once the reporting is done, their work is over. No, that is where your work starts. So you need to, that is one of the cons. The interaction is lacking both ways, from us and from the clinicians. So this is the only cons I can think of. And of course, as you know, still microbiology as a field in India is not taken very seriously. It's taken to be a lab specialty, nothing to do with clinical medicine. So people are not very keen on taking it up. And job opportunities. If you think only of a medical college job, the job opportunities are not too many. In the private labs, yeah, but one microbiologist per private lab is more than sufficient in the current scenario. So that is why there's a limitation of job opportunities. That is another con I would think of. But then I feel things will change. It's definitely going to change, because now the NMC has realized that microbiology is more than about lab. So we are going to make specialty is also going to have a makeover. There are plans to make it more clinically relevant.
Yeah. Right. So health, we all know that healthcare is a teamwork, right? So each member of the team plays a vital role in the final goal is the patient comes out happy and healthy, right? So it's a teamwork, and I think each specialty has its own significance of being part of this particular teamwork. And I think one of the message through the summit is, so we'll be having a lot of students watching this particular summit, and from anatomy till all the specialties, so they get the insight of each specialty and see what they're going through, and hopefully the coming generations would have a better stand on taking as a teamwork, and having involving everyone as part of the team, and each one is responsible and acknowledgeable in each part of the healthcare. Got it. Wonderful, ma'am. And so with that, for whom this career choice would be an ideal choice of taking MD microbiology?
Yes, Sajjan, because see, now microbiologists are into infection control. Microbiologists are into antibiotic stewardship programs. Okay, so these are two major fields which are upcoming, and which is definitely for us. So I think students should think of it as a wonderful option, because like I told you, we are moving away from the lab to the hospital.
Right.
So you know very well, in AJ we have a very active infection control team, a hospital infection control team. We are totally involved, whether you talk about clinical care or whether you talk about the waste management, from top to bottom, microbiologists are involved. And of course, the stewardship program, the antibiotic stewardship program, it's a coordinated program where we work with the clinicians so that there is optimization of use of antimicrobials. Just to ensure that the outcomes are really good with minimal and appropriate use of antibiotics, and also to ensure that patients don't get hospital-acquired infection because of multi-drug resistant organisms, which is an offshoot of inappropriate use of antibiotics. Then, of course, finally, it leads to good patient outcome, and most important for patient. Hospital treatment now is so expensive, but if all this is optimized through a good infection control program, through a good antibiotic stewardship program, then the hospital stay is decreased, the cost to the patient is very much decreased, and better utilization of hospital facilities is there. So students, I think, should think of this as a good career option, especially for those who would like more time for their personal life also. Because I see this trend now. I see this trend where people are not willing to take OBG because it's a 24/7 job. Okay, this kind of a mindset is coming in where people have realized that we need to balance personal life and work options. So for such people, I think this is a wonderful option. It gives you the best of both worlds.
Got it. Wonderful. We got that insight there. Right. So, and now once someone takes microbiology as an option, they complete their MD microbiology. What are the super specialization opportunities available after MD?
Right now, the only super specialization option open to us is ID, infectious disease.
Okay.
DM in infectious disease is open to microbiologists, and I think it's there available only in AIIMS.
Okay. Okay.
JIPMA, I'm not very sure about JIPMA, but AIIMS, I'm sure. They have started a DM infectious disease program, which is open to microbiologists also. Unfortunately, that's the only super specialization which is open to us. But there are fellowships in infectious disease. There are fellowships in hospital infection, which are also options for us.
Got it. So once we complete MD microbiology, what are the job opportunities in India, and what are the opportunities in abroad?
In India, it's still in a nascent stage where it's only the lab specialties, and of course corporate hospitals now have openings for microbiologists, again not only in the lab, to be part of their ID program, and they're part of their infection control program that is there. Teaching hospitals, definitely they have a lot of vacancies, but it's not sufficient. Of course, you have to balance out your teaching and your lab work and the hospital work. Okay, it's not a large market, I would say, but still it's worth taking it, especially now with COVID. Because of this pandemic, I can see every day there are ads asking for microbiologists. So I would say that way COVID has opened people's eyes to the requirement of a microbiologist.
Got it. And opportunities in abroad, ma'am?
Pardon, yeah?
Opportunities in abroad.
Abroad, it's more about research, Sajid. I don't think they have a separate specialty as a microbiologist, a doctor as a microbiologist. It's more about research programs. As far as I know, that is what it is abroad. But with the there's no separate specialty as a microbiology other than for a research purpose.
Got it. Got it.
Here also we can take up research. You can specialize, or you can do research only in virology or in specific bacteria. You can go into molecular studies. There are a lot of other opportunities. You need to keep your mind open. If you are a research-oriented person, again, there's a lot of other things you can branch off into.
Got it. Got it. Right.
Because so microbes, you have bacteria, viruses, fungi, parasites. You can work on anything.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
A lot. Yeah. So going ahead, what will be the earning potential in this field?
Earning potential in the medical colleges, at least in most medical colleges, they start with something close to 1 lakh, 75,000 to 1 lakh in the SR level. Then it climbs up to maybe 2.5 lakhs per year. This is about a medical college job.
Yeah.
Then if you're into freelancing, you can go to multiple labs. So, and corporate hospitals, they pay much more. But then it's the workload is also that much more because, they don't hire too many microbiologists. So you'll be almost working 365 days with maybe just a day off once in a way. So it's finally your choice, whether you want to work 24/7 or you want to do a 9-to-5 job and stay at home. And of course, accordingly, your payment will differ.
Yeah, so I think that this option is most of the fields, that's how it is. So it's up to them.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, how do you see a work-life balance being a microbiologist?
I have balanced it very well, Sajin. Because when my daughters come and tell me, Amma, we are proud that you're a doctor, and we are also proud that you gave us so much time. Never at any time we felt Amma is a career woman, so she did not give us enough attention, you did not give us enough time. It never happened. You were always there for us when we needed you, and you have always been like, for the hospital whenever they needed you. So I think that gives me the satisfaction that somewhere I have managed to balance it pretty well.
Right. Got it. That's wonderful. That's wonderful, really. So, because having that work-life balance is, I think, most of the like not everything on the work side also doesn't make complete workability is not there. So that balancing the work and life is what I think currently, as you are currently mentioned, there's a trend which is coming up. People are looking into work-life balance in more specificality.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, especially the current scenario with so much of stress and mental health issues, starting from little kids, the stress they are going through, we might not have identified it as stress. See, so many times we say the child is refusing to listen to what the parents say, throwing a tantrum, but have we really gone into it to see why? Maybe somewhere the child is feeling he or she is missing out on something. I'll tell you, for example, a small thing. It's a very, a personal thing. I don't know whether I should be saying it here. When my daughter was very small, 2 years old precisely, she had a bad cough and cold. And I had a clinic at that point of time. So I was leaving for the clinic. She asked me, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to the clinic." "Why?" I said, "See patients." "So why do you need to see patients?" I said, "They're not keeping well." You know what her reply was, Sajan? She said, "Amma, I am not keeping well. You are not taking care of me, but you're going to the hospital or clinic to take care of patients. I have only one mom. They have other doctors." I mean, maybe she was talking to, for a 2-year-old, her thought process was so rapid and across so many things. But then she made me realize that day that my children are my responsibility. Right. So that day I decided, okay, this is it. I have to give enough time for them and for my work, because I have studied so much. I need to justify the amount of years of hard work to reach where I am. At the same time, I want the satisfaction of taking care of my kids. So definitely, we need to understand, we need to think from a child's perspective. And make sure that you are there for your family. At the end of the day, they are there for us. After some time, we have to retire from our job, right?
Exactly. Right. That's
so
very.
I'm perfectly happy with my choice, Sajan. I'm really happy with my choice. I don't, sometimes the regret is there because ophthalmology was always my first choice. But somewhere I feel, no, for my kind of a mentality, this was the ideal thing to do.
And the scenario which you shared is very inspiring. I suppose that would add a lot of value for the viewers which we're having today, right? So, ma'am, with that, let's move ahead. So, what do you see the future of microbiology in next 5 to 10 years? As you correctly said, there is an NMC which has come over, which is trying to collaborate, interlink different specialities, and the new emerging diseases which is coming like COVID, which came into existence. And of course, as we advance, there are many more things to come. So how do you see microbiology in next 5 to 10 years to grow?
I feel that microbiology is going to go a long way, because the current set of youngsters, the younger doctors, are more proactive to a microbiologist. I can see the change in my place of work itself, where the younger people are very much willing to lift the phone and call us and discuss with us. See, this is how it is, Anita. What do you think it could be? Can you help me in some way? So the mindset is changing, Sajan. And with COVID, I think somewhere people have realized that, yeah, microbiologist has a very important role to play. Like you rightly said, re-emerging diseases. See, a lot of diseases we thought is no more there. Okay. We can see it coming up somewhere, and suddenly it hits us. We wouldn't even have thought of that as a likely pathogen or the cause for the particular infection a patient is having. And when we grow it in the lab, we ourselves are like, oh my God, this is what it is. So you know, I with the current scenario, I feel microbiologists have a large role to play, and it's going to become more of an interactive, like the clinicians and the microbiologists are going to work hand in hand. This is how I see it.
Right. Wonderful. So with that, I think we had most of the discussion regarding more of academic things and look into the very serious part of discussing on microbiology. So now in the lighter terms, we'd like to know something more about you and how your MBBS days went and the post-graduation days and after then and 18 years of being in microbiology and teaching. I think we all know that you have been one of the teacher and there are students who like completely fall in love with the way you teach. So how was your experience from the days of MBBS and reaching here? Could you share some stories of that areas?
Oh, yes, definitely, Sajjan. MBBS I did from Stanley Medical College, Chennai. We had wonderful teachers, and our microbiology teacher, Dr. Krishna Prakash. He was, I should say, the person who ignited the interest in me towards microbiology. To the extent that I had even taken a price exam. We used to have a price exam for each subject. So microbiology and ophthalmology were the only two subjects I took the exam, and not that I did well in the exam or got a prize or something, but then I cherish those memories of, having studied for those particular subjects and having been part of the competition for whatever reason. It was more about everybody is doing it. Okay, I also want to be part of it thing. And one incident as a student, as an intern, the first time Leptospira re-emerged in Chennai in 85. I distinctly remember that patient in the ward with his eyes looking like he had turmeric sprinkled on his eye, and over that kumkum. That's exactly the presentation. Okay, really yellow conjunctiva with red on it. And my HOD, medicine HOD, comes and tells me, Anita, this looks like Leptospira. Just take the blood, go to microbiology department. Said, okay, Leptospira we had only read in textbooks, and that too in passing, like, something Leptospira, that's all. So I took the blood to the microbiology lab, and my teacher there said, Anita, what is he talking about? What Leptospira? It is not there anymore. I said, okay, sir, fine. He said, if there's anything, I'll let you know. I walked off. And I was just crossing the corridor. He calls me, says, Anita, come here. What happened, sir? Come, I have something to show you. And we had a dark ground microscope even in those days in my college. That's the first time I saw the Leptospira.
During your internship?
Yeah, I was amazed. Yeah. And those days, nobody was working on it. So he made me take it to the veterinary college lab because it's seen in my rat urine, no? So I took it to the veterinary college lab. That was in 85. After that, it has been like every post-monsoon, we see Leptospira now. So, these kind of things really got me interested in this subject. Another time, I personally had rat bite fever. Do you even remember reading about rat bite fever, Sajjan?
Yeah, vaguely somewhere, yes.
Yeah, some vague corner of your microbiology textbook, rat bite fever.
Right.
I had a rat bite and I developed rat bite fever. And no clinician believed me when I said, sir, it's rat bite. I think it's rat bite fever. They said, Anita, you must have been sleeping and you don't know what bit you. And mind you, it was rat bite fever with spirillum. So, all these things make you realize that, okay, all these pathogens are everywhere. You don't know who's going to pick it up when. Okay. Right. Then, of course, as a teacher, all these years in AJ, with all of you students, my personal interaction has been, I love the personal interaction. I like being with students. I'm very happy. I'm not saying they have to come and ask me, discuss only the subject with me. I'm very happy when they come and ask me, ma'am, do you have 10 minutes of your time? Can I come and sit with you? They just want to talk, especially the hostel kids. When they feel a little lost, some of them come to my chamber. They just want to talk to me. They just want to discuss maybe some small personal problem they may be having with a friend or at home. Uh, that makes me feel good as a teacher. I feel that somewhere that personal touch, they like it, and I don't mind. Of course, most of the students don't want the personal touch. They want to remain far away from the teacher. But those kids who want to come to me, I'm always there for. And hospital wise, also the work wise, whenever there's been an outbreak, I'm glad that I was there to identify the outbreak, to help out. I'm glad I'm part of the infection control program. I'm part of the the antibiotic stewardship program. In a small way, I, I feel I have contributed towards my students and towards my uh, the hospital I'm working for. So I'm perfectly satisfied with my whatever I've been doing so far, Sajjan.
Got it, ma'am. So that's a wonderful journey, and thank you so much for sharing that nitty-gritty small stories, which is really inspiring. And because if you look back, I think you could see that there are multiple connections which of course you had an inclination towards often, but I think small things, as you mentioned, is all connected to you also linking towards microbiology, the
Yes.
part of your life, right? Got it. So,
Yeah.
being in this entire journey, what has been one of the challenging part of taking microbiology?
Challenging part of taking microbiology, because I took it up late, of course, was balancing my home and my studies.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks to my teachers in Kasturba Medical College, where I did my MD,
Mm-hmm.
I had a very supportive set of teachers. They always, right from the day one when I joined, I have to tell you that I joined so late. I joined when I was 39 for my MD.
Mm-hmm.
And KMC Mangalore, the teachers were so supportive. They told me, Anita, studies apart, make sure that you don't neglect your family because you have two daughters at home. Make sure that you're there for them also. And they guided me in every way possible. They were so, what should I say, uh, sensitive towards the fact that I may feel a little left out because I walked in late. All my colleagues were much younger to me. In fact, even my teachers, I think they were either my age or even a couple of years younger to me, but they never made me feel that I was an alien there. They did it. It was a really wonderful experience there where all of them were so supportive, and they made my day. My day was made when my teacher told me, all your hard work has paid off. I mean, she didn't say it in so many words. She told me that, Anita, you passed on your own merit. I'm so happy for you. So I think that was better than getting a gold medal for me, because it was hard, Sajjan. I had to balance my night duties, the hours of study, because microbiology, it has bacteria, parasites, viruses, fungi, and each one is a separate book. So in 3 years to study such in-depth microbiology after such a long gap, I used to sit up. I mean, I used to sleep by 10, wake up somewhere at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the night, sit and study for another 2, 3 hours, take a short nap, get my kids ready for school, go back to hospital, do the work there. This kind of a routine, 3 years, uh, it was, that was very challenging. My only thing was I have to clear it first attempt. There is no two ways about it. And I cleared it first attempt. So uh, that was a challenge for me, but I took it as one day at a time. I refused to
Yeah.
think. The first day I joined, Sajjan, I thought, oh my God, I was just praying to God. I've taken this major step. Lord, when I sleep and wake up, my 3 years should be done. This is what I thought.
Got it.
Now looking back, it's like the 3 years just flew.
Yes, yes, yes. Wow, really, really, that's amazing. Got it. So, having all those challenges and going through such a hardship and coming out of all those things. So now, when you look back, what has been the the best part of being a microbiologist?
The best part of being a microbiologist, my experience in aging.
Okay.
I have very, very lovely memories associated. I joined as soon as I finished my MD, stepped into AJ. And from there, every day has been an experience I treasure. I can look back and say, this college, this hospital has grown and I have grown with it. And they gave me the opportunity to be what I am today. I'm eternally grateful for, I should say, the God above me and my family, the hospital. Everybody has been part of my growth. And those are memories I cherish.
Wow, really amazing.
My students, I cherish my students. Overall, I have wonderful memories, Sajan. I can't say this.
I know.
Everything is a wonderful memory for me.
Right. Got that. So, ma'am, with that, we are almost at the end of the discussion. So, what would be your guidance for someone who is inclined towards microbiology and would like to take microbiology as their specialty?
I would say that don't look at the current scenario. Don't be depressed by the thought that there may not be so many job opportunities. Maybe you're not making tons of money like the clinicians, but definitely it's a worthwhile option. I will not discourage a student from taking microbiology because it is opening up, and for any students who take it up now and in the future, lot of opportunities.
Wow, great.
So I would definitely tell them, go ahead.
So I think we had a great discussion. You shared a lot of things, which I think a lot of inspiring moments of your life with us. Thank you so much, ma'am. And so really, I want to acknowledge, you are actually a spark of light, and it is charm. Whenever you walk around in the campus, it lightens every student. And the classes, the way you teach and the way you interact, and the personal touch which you also space which you give for the students are also really amazing. And it's an inspiring moment for me today to discuss and just share some moments with you. And I think most of the students who are watching this would really get inspired the way you're shared. And hopefully, if they don't take microbiology as a specialty, but they know that this is what a life of microbiologist is, and they would really stand and acknowledge every microbiologist as a clinician of this. When the students become the clinicians, they acknowledge the microbiologist or any specialty as a team. They could work together. Thank you so much for contributing, man. And it's a pleasure for me, my teacher, and having this on this particular program. Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sajan. The pleasure is all mine, dear. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Isn't this valuable to know the career pathway of a specialist? Hear from experiences of 50 plus consultant doctors from across India. Get an insight into 22 plus medical specialties and make an informed career decision which will shape your future. Join India's first of a kind online medical specialty summit exclusively designed for medical students. Visit our website drsajjanacademy.com to know more. Don't miss out on this golden opportunity.